Shohei Ohtani is officially a Dodger. 10 years, $700 million. Are you serious right now? Is Yamamoto going to be next to be a Dodger? What about Tyler Glasnow? Is he going to be a Dodger? Kershaw, is he going to be back as a Dodger? Or is he going to rock the Ranger blue? Find out in the next edition of Sideline Sports Podcast. Welcome to Sideline Sports Podcast. If you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Sideline Sports Podcast. I'm the host, Alex Naveja, and if you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast. If you guys are liking the social media content that we're throwing out there, please give it a follow. It's down in the description below. Facebook, Instagram, IG, and even on TikTok. We're still putting up content out there, still looking to get those interviews for Interview Under the Lights going, and we're still breaking down a lot of the moves that are going down here with the MLB free agency. So without further ado, let's get things underway. I mean, we've got a reporter from Dodgers Digest, and he also has his own show over at Long Beach State. Go Beach, baby, and go Bags. And he has his own show, works for Dodgers Digest as a reporter. He goes by the name of Bruce Kuntz. What's going on, my guy? How's it going?
It's going great. I really appreciate you having me on. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you here on the show. And you know what? There's just so much to cover here with the Dodgers. They have been a hot topic this offseason. I mean, and especially with the news that went down on Saturday morning. I mean, I was caught off guard. I didn't think that Ohtani was going to sign that weekend. I know there was a lot of buzz with him saying, hey, I'm going to make a decision by the end of the week or maybe by the weekend. I didn't believe it just because so many big name guys signed closer to January, closer to February. But when he said, I'm signing and making the decision around that time of the week, I was shocked. So first off, where were you Saturday morning when you heard that buzz? And what are your thoughts on this deal, honestly?
I was just sitting at home. I had just gotten out of the shower. It all came so abruptly, just out of nowhere. And man, the reaction is immediately to getting the news was just straight up electric. I was excited. I called one of my buddies right away, just letting him know, hey, we got Ohtani, man. We got Ohtani. And it was a long road leading up to that. You know, in the previous days leading up to the signing, we had reports about Toronto and just everything was swirling. Didn't really know what he was doing. And then for Ohtani himself to drop the bomb, let everybody know, hey, I'm going to LA. I thought that part was really cool. He was able to be the first on the news and reported himself of his free agency destination. And yeah, just the immediate reaction was excitement. It's just a great time to be following this team right now, and picking up Shohei Ohtani, the best player on planet Earth, is a really exciting thing for the Dodger future.
Absolutely. I think it was the move that was much needed to be made. I mean, especially with a lot of the Dodgers deciding to not buy into the opt-ins for a lot of contracts, especially for JD. I mean, considering what JD did last season, he did so good for the Dodgers. I mean, his power numbers went up. It was a great incline year for him, a great year, great bounce back year for JD Martinez. And with that alone, with him not opting into his contract for the Dodgers, or the Dodgers allowing or opting into his contract, I already had a feeling, okay, no, this is the Dodgers sending a message saying, we're all in on Shohei Ohtani. This is going to be our designated hitter for the next X amount of years during that time. We're going to go get him. This is our guy. This is who we're going to get. I mean, he's not going to be a pitcher next year, but we can certainly count on our trainers to be able to get him back into health after he has surgery or whatever he needs to do to get his elbow back to 100%, and expect him to be a part of that Dodgers rotation. And once the Dodgers rotation is 100%, I don't think there's going to be anything stopping this Dodger rotation once everybody is good to go, honestly.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun team to watch for sure, not only this next year, but moving into the future. Like you said, once Ohtani's back on the mound, especially depending on what the Dodgers do for the rest of this offseason. I know we're going to get into that a little bit more here later in the podcast, but depending on, what other big names they could pick up moving into the future and then getting Ohtani back in 2025, not only is that rotation going to look crazy, the lineup's going to be super, super good. And we're going to see that really show through next year with Ohtani on the field in that DH spot. It's just a golden era right now. It's shaping up to be for Dodger baseball. And it's really looking forward to seeing what happens for sure.
Absolutely exciting times, but 10 years, 700 million, that has to be the most expensive contract in the sports of history. I mean, thoughts on that? I mean, we knew he was going to be a big time player to sign for a big time quantity, but what are your thoughts on that quantity and just like with the signing in general?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the signing in general, in my opinion, they couldn't have done it any better. The Dodgers were clearly motivated to go get Shohei Ohtani. I mean, that $700 million price tag shows that they were really committed to getting their guy. Um, and I think it's a mutually beneficial thing. We saw through the weekend with reports coming through about how the contract is structured. Shohei Ohtani came to the table and really made sure that even though it's $700 million, that's a obviously crazy total sum of money. They couldn't have structured it any better to allow the Dodgers to build the best team possible around Shohei Ohtani in the short term. And that's exactly what Ohtani wanted. So really everybody wins. Shohei got the record breaking deal, $700 million hits the headlines as for Shohei Ohtani's agency. And then Shohei Ohtani's a Dodger. That's clearly where he wanted to be through all this whole process. It seems like Shohei was focused on getting himself in Dodger blue. The Dodgers pick up the best player in the world. It's just everybody wins. And the Dodgers adding Shohei to this team, it's just perfect. It seems like it was a match made in heaven. Moving all the way through the offseason, I think, as we saw more teams throwing their name into the hat and doing what they could to get Shohei onto their respective franchises. Even through all of that, I just continued to think about the Dodgers just seem like the perfect destination. It's still in Southern California, just up the 5 freeway from where he's played his last 6 years, and just so much comes together to make it make sense. And I'm glad that in the end Shohei wound up being a Dodger like it seemed like was prophesized.
It's a match made in heaven and blue heaven on earth, certainly. And I know the Dodgers are far from being done. And after check on the primary objective in the list was getting Shohei Ohtani. Now we've got some talent overseas over in Japan with Yamamoto, who is also shopping around, listening to teams from New York. Maybe they had a meeting with the Dodgers, which went pretty interesting enough. Newly acquired Shohei Ohtani being a part of that meeting with Mookie, with Freddie, and with Will Smith to try to help out in those persuasions. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I was excited to see that report from Fabian Ardaya of The Athletic earlier that Shohei Ohtani was part of that group recruiting Yoshinobu Yamamoto in the meetings yesterday. I think that shows how committed Shohei is to winning. Just a couple days out from signing his big contract. I think a lot of players, when they get their free agent deal, and rightfully so, that's their time to celebrate. They might go on vacation. Their job's done. They got paid. But Shohei, it's a turn the page and focus immediately on the next best way to pursue a World Series title. And for Shohei Ohtani, that meant being in the room for this meeting and helping the pitch to Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And I really think that could be a massive part in how this free agency plays out. This is just speaking from my gut. I don't have any information here, but I mean, just the thought of, Shohei's teammate in Yoshinobu Yamamoto from the World Baseball Classic, the familiarity they have there with each other. No other team in meetings has that, but the Dodgers do. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I was really excited to see the Dodgers really bringing out all the stops to try and get Yamamoto in Dodger blue as well.
So I think a big question that I have for you here, Bruce, is with the reports that just came out, the Giants, they ended up signing Jung-Hoo Lee, and he's going to be what's looking like the starting center fielder there in San Francisco. Do you think the Dodgers are going to push even harder to be able to lock in both Ohtani and now Yamamoto just to, hey, you know what? San Francisco did this. we want to make sure that this division stays ours. Does that push them at all to try to make this transaction happen?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Giants moves play into the Dodgers motivations. I think also involved in what the Dodgers could do there in relation to the Giants is how hard the Giants are still going to be pushing to get Yoshinobu Yamamoto themselves. We've seen reports that San Francisco's been having they've had at least a meeting with Yamamoto as a bunch of teams converge in Los Angeles, and I definitely wouldn't be surprised to hear that the Dodgers, knowing that he could wind up with San Francisco, that might increase the push even further, because at that point, not only are you picking up Yamamoto for your squad, but you're preventing the Giants from getting a potential perennial ace. So there's two different factors there that really make that match make sense. And yeah, I think even independent of that, the Dodgers just want Yamamoto for the fact that he's a fantastic pitcher and can step in and be the ace from day one. So they definitely, I think it appears they're motivated to go get him, and we'll have to see how it plays out. The Yankees are going to be really strong contenders. The Mets might outbid everybody. We'll just have to see what Yamamoto really prefers, where his motivations and where he signs fall. I don't think any of that is perfectly clear yet, and hopefully we'll find out more in the coming days as his free agency really locks down. We have to find out by January 4th when his posting period ends, so not too far out, we'll know where Yamamoto lands.
If he likes the East Coast or the West Coast instead. I mean, there's surely some good teams on both ends of the coast there. Now, I want to bring this one up. I mean, you, along with a colleague of yours, both were talking about some big talks as far as Dodgers, Rays, trying to get the ball rolling on what would be a Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot acquisition for the Dodgers for Ryan Pepio along with Johnny DeLuca.
Yeah.
That is an interesting trade. I think that would be great, but tell us a little bit about that. I mean, I'd love to hear about your insider's work, and tell me a little bit about that trade, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yesterday I was just hearing a ton of buzz throughout the day regarding Glasnow to Los Angeles, with a lot of progress being made. And then it came together last night where both me and my colleague Jack Azalea Heron wound up with the scoop there, with our sources informing us of that full package of Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot in exchange for Ryan Pepio and Johnny DeLuca. The trade still isn't done. It is in the final stages, but after we reported it last night, this morning, Ken Rosenthal confirmed our reports. He listed the same deal as being what has momentum and is being discussed, and that was this morning. But Rosenthal, just like we did, made sure to note the deal is not complete. I think that it's at least possible. It's likely, I think. I would even say that it winds up being completed, but nothing is for sure until everything is finalized. There's money to talk about, whether the Rays possibly send some extra dollars to the Dodgers in the trade in order to offset some of the salary that the Dodgers will be taking on. There's just a lot of factors to sort through before this deal gets finalized. And you never know, with trades, there could always be a wrinkle that gets thrown in at the last minute. But as it looks right now, from what I've heard, the talks are Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot in exchange for Ryan Pepio and Johnny DeLuca. We'll have to see what happens here moving into the next tomorrow, maybe even into the next few days, and see if that trade can get finalized.
So, I mean, I know this is going to be like an obvious question. I mean, with the Dodgers pitching woes and with Mookie Betts, a lot of reports going around him that he's going to be starting a lot more second base, if not going to be the everyday second baseman for the Dodgers. What is this trade going to mean for them, other than, giving the Dodgers starting rotation depth with just hit with injuries, and we're not even sure about Buehler, and as far as outfielders needed for the Dodgers?
Yeah, I think the big motivation here for the Dodgers, if this trade can get completed, is picking up Tyler Glasnow. He's a certified ace, and really anybody you talk to about Tyler Glasnow, the concerns are not about what's on the field. It's about if he's going to be on the field at all. He hasn't eclipsed 25 starts in his career, I believe, and the injury troubles there that he's dealt with are certainly a concern for the Dodgers and teams around the league. But I think ultimately what it comes down to, the Dodgers feel comfortable with the pitching depth within the organization. There's a lot of guys that either debuted last year or are getting ready to debut this year that the Dodgers have confidence in filling innings. And acquiring Tyler Glasnow would mean getting a certified ace that the Dodgers can pencil into game one of a playoff rotation. And I think that's the main motivation here. As for Margot being included, I think that could have something to do with the fact that Johnny DeLuca is going back. Margot would be able to come to the Dodgers and step into a pretty similar role that DeLuca would have had as a platoon bat against left-handed pitching, probably rotating with Jason Hayward in right field. I think another reason for Margot's inclusion could be just about the Rays trying to shed salary. Margot's making $10 million next year and has a mutual option for 2025 at $12 million. The Rays might be just looking to offload that money if the trade gets completed. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I think the main catalyst here is about go get Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers, and Margot's a nice piece to pick up too as you're losing to Luca. But this trade really revolves around Tyler Glasnow, and that's where the Dodgers' focus is.
I really like the deal ever since the World Series, Dodgers, Rays. I mean, why not go get Tyler Glasnow? I understand why it took a little while because of the injury woes that he had to deal with and being out for quite some time. And I think that might be a question mark moving down the line for the Dodgers. I mean, Tyler Glasnow, good pitcher to have in your rotation. Just tough to see a top prospect like Ryan Pepiot go, since he was starting to figure things out and he was looking really solid for the Dodgers. And this could have been a possible big year for him. But I think my final question to finish off the show here, Bruce, is what other moves do you see the Dodgers addressing moving down the line? Let's say after Yamamoto has been addressed, and let's just say if the Tyler Glasnow move goes forward.
Yeah, I think the focus immediately shifts to Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's the priority right now. The Dodgers will go hard trying to get Yoshinobu Yamamoto with everything that they can. There's obviously no guarantees there because there's a lot of other teams, including the Yankees, the Mets, the Giants, the Red Sox, that are all doing the same thing with full pursuit of Yamamoto. From there, I think that after that being the priority, if the Dodgers don't get Yamamoto, then they would have to shift focus. Just my guess, I don't have any necessarily information to suggest this, but my guess would be they'd shift focus to a different arm that they could slot in near the top of the rotation. No, there wouldn't be anybody else left in free agency on Yamamoto's level, but they could shift focus to a Blake Snell, maybe possibly a Jordan Montgomery or a Shota Imanaga, another guy coming over from Japan. Those would all be really nice pickups in their own right. From there, I would also anticipate the Dodgers possibly looking into some extra starting pitching innings near the back of the rotation, maybe a Lucas Giolito or a Jack Flaherty type of pickup there to just shore up some innings that a guy will be on the field, and possibly make a rebound from tough years last year for both of those examples. But yeah, I think pitching is the main focus right now. We saw the Dodgers make a move to bring back Daniel Hudson, according to Jeff Passan today, on a minor league contract. So the bullpen could always be a place that gets addressed. And I think the main thing from there, possibly a right-handed bat that the Dodgers could look to add. They've been connected still to Kike Hernandez, possibly bringing him back. But currently, with the way the team is looking right now, a lot of left-handed bats. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Dodgers go out and get one more right-handed bat to add either in a platoon role or just on the bench, just to sure out the matchups there.
So far, the moves have been looking really good here for the Dodgers. They are going big, especially with being eliminated early on in the playoffs. They are not joking around here. They want to win a World Series. They are tired of hearing the buzz of, oh, it was a 60-game season. 2020 doesn't count. They want to officially go for it and win a 162-game regular season and win a World Series for real now. They are going in, trying to sign the top dogs, trying to go after the top pitchers and just trying to go big here. And just very quickly, with the trade the Dodgers had to make to clear space for the 40-man, trading both Victor Gonzalez along with Yorbit Vivas over to the Yankees to bring another top prospect in Trey Sweeney. That is definitely going to help out down the line, possibly a future shortstop for the Dodgers. Not sure, but we'll have to wait and see what the future is going to hold for the Dodgers. You know, they always make these sneaky moves as far as trading away some guys, but they bring in a prospect. The prospect ends up paying off. But that's all the time we have left here on Sideline Sports Podcast. We thank you all so much for joining us into this one. If you guys like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys think should be the next moves for the Dodgers. We want to hear your opinions on the Ohtani deal, on Yamamoto going. Should he go to LA? Is it the right move? Or even Tyler Glasnow? Is it worth it to bring him here in LA? We want to hear all about it. Hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you guys know when we're uploading episodes. Follow us in all of our social media handles down below in Instagram and Facebook, on X, on TikTok. We're always trying to put some sort of social media. We're always trying to put up some content for you guys. And without further ado, this is Bruce Kuntz, who was with us from Dodgers Digest and from 22 West Radio. He is the host of his very own show called Around the Bases, right?
Yep, that's correct.
There you go. Bruce, thanks so much for jumping on, man. I really appreciate it. And don't be a stranger. You're always welcome to jump on, talk Dodgers.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Alex. This has been a fun time. Always nice to, talk about what the Dodgers are going to be doing. And it's going to be a fun offseason to watch from here on out. They've already started with the big fish of Shohei Ohtani. Now they can shore out the rest of the roster and really build a World Series winner. It's going to be fun to watch.
It'll be a fun year for sure to be a Dodger fan. But I'm Alex Naveja from Sideline Sports Podcast. If you're not on the sideline, it's not Sideline Sports Podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Have a good night, everybody, and go Dodgers.